Today we are going to talk about the hypothalamus, the pituitary and their effects on the body. Please do remember you have gone through this over the last few years. It's just a quick revision in order to sensitize you to the physiology before going on to the pathology of the pituitary gland. So we all know we have this hypothalamus, we have the pituitary. The pituitary has two components, anterior and the posterior pituitary. And when we talk about the hypothalamus, there are two important nuclei when we talk about the hypothalamic pituitary axis. That is the supraoptic nucleus and the paraventricular nucleus. Now the substances, the hormones which are released from the supraoptic nucleus, they reach to the anterior pituitary through a set of capillaries which is known as the hypophyseal portal system, and through this blood circulation they reach the anterior pituitary. On the other hand, the posterior pituitary is affected by the factors and hormones present in the paraventricular nucleus, synthesized in the paraventricular nucleus and reaching onto the posterior pituitary through nerve fibers which connect the two. Now that this is clear, the anatomical connection between the two organs, let's talk about what is produced and how it affects the body. So, talking about the anterior pituitary first. Anterior pituitary is affected, as I said, by the supraoptic nucleus. The supraoptic nucleus releases certain releasing hormone. So, first of all, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Gonadotropin releasing hormone produced in the supraoptic acts on the anterior pituitary and results in the liberation of gonadotropins, which include luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, and we all know that these two affect in females the ovaries and in males the testes, resulting in formation of and release of further sex hormones. The next hormone which the anterior pituitary and the hypothalamus are responsible for are the thyroid hormones. So the second hormone which is regulated by the supraoptic nucleus is the thyrotropin releasing hormone, which affects the pituitary, resulting in thyroid secreting thyroid. The third hormone liberated by the hypothalamus is the corticotropin releasing hormone. Corticotropin releasing hormone acts on the anterior pituitary to result in the formation of ACTH, adrenocorticotrophic hormone, and adrenocorticotrophic hormone acts on the adrenal cortex to result in the formation of cortical hormones. The fourth important hormone which is released by the hypothalamus is the growth hormone releasing hormone. Growth hormone releasing hormone, it affects the anterior pituitary to result in the formation of growth hormone and then these growth hormones, they affect the bones and the muscle tissue, resulting in growth of both of these, and this is how you see an individual grow up. That is why known as growth. The fifth and a very important substance release by the hypothalamus is prolactin inhibitory factor. Actually, it is normally released and it inhibits the anterior pituitary to produce prolactin. So when this substance is decreased, there is increase in the production of prolactin by the anterior pituitary, and prolactin affects the breast tissue and results in milk production and release. So these are the factors and the hormones which are released by the anterior part of the hypothalamic pituitary system. Please remember, the first four I have talked about are trophic hormones. Trophic means they are responsible for the release of further hormones by the target organs which I have just drawn here. On the other hand, the last two are not trophic hormones, but substances which directly have effect on these tissues. So it's very easy. There's a mnemonic. What's a mnemonic? बस यहाँ तक ठीक है ना, जब मैंने इधर तक हो जाएगा ना
जी।
वापस आ
मैंने काटा कुछ भी नहीं यहाँ से, बाद में जी।
Now that we are done with the anterior pituitary, let's talk a little about the posterior pituitary. The paraventricular nucleus produces two types of hormones. One is oxytocin and two is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Very easy to remember. Oxytocin released from the paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus Very easy to remember. The oxytocin released from the paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus reaches the posterior pituitary and is liberated from the posterior pituitary to effect the uterine contractions at the time of labor, as well as to some extent release of milk from the breast. Antidiuretic hormone, it acts on the kidney and it affects in the retention of water in our body systems. So this is a brief summary of the working of our hypothalamic pituitary axis. What I need you to do is that we keep on reviewing this again and again as we proceed on to the diseases of the pituitary gland. Thank you so much.